Let's go.
Coming off the back of the first loss of the season and a fairly flat performance at Plymouth, the lads were now well aware that there are going to be no walkover games this season. And with the visit of Middlesbrough to the Stadium of Light, we were up against one of the division's more serious threats. Sunderland had beaten Middlesbrough at home only once in the last 6 meetings, and Boro are a side that top divisional rankings for touches in the opposition box. They're second for shots on target and have created the same number of big chances as Sunderland this season. Crucially though, Sunderland have been taking theirs and Middlesbrough have not, with 10 big misses this season already exposing their lack of finishing. Thank you to those of you who hit the super thanks to support me last video. Charles Marshall, Emailing Mail, Gary Duran, Indy2764, Lons, Mad Mark Malloy, Neville Scott, Aaron Waters, Scott Watson and Zero, I love you all. Sunderland made one change with Chris Mepham coming in for Dan Ballard, who sustained a bad knock at the end of the Plymouth game. Ballard, though, was deemed fit enough to make the bench, if not to start. Eliza Mayenda retained his place in the starting lineup despite some crucial chances missed last week, as Regis Bris continued to show loyalty to his core starters.
A relative unknown when he arrived, but everybody knows about him now. His first taste of this occasion.
And we were off, in curious fashion. Boro employed the tactics of a 9-year-old from kick-off, because if you tell a kid Sunderland press high, so just stop and they will run at you, this is what that child would do from kick-off. Having opened the day looking silly, Boro then kicked it long, and it was Sunderland's turn to have the ball from deep and show you what you should do.
And with the fans here at the Stadium of Light,
Sunderland also like to tempt the opposition onto the ball, but when they don't come, the wide centre-halves simply advance into the space and force the issue, creating an overload on the wing.
there's Luke O'Neill looking to carry the fight to Middlesbrough. And he's been allowed to run a long way as the Sunderland centre-back. Edmondson trying to do...
And now, in the final third, when Boro recover the ball again, they face an aggressive press at the moment of transition, eventually winning a free kick.
Who just wouldn't give up, and Sunderland win themselves a free kick.
From the free kick, Dan Neil hits an air shot and Boro break fast.
To be dealt with, and then a miscue from Neil, and Middlesbrough could be away here.
And it's probably only the procrastination of Isaiah Jones here that allowed Sunderland to get back. What Boro like to do, you see, is use Hayden Hackney to play through the middle, and when they play the ball over halfway, they spread it wide, which is perhaps why Isaiah Jones is caught in two minds when he breaks, because he's already out wide, and they don't normally pass back inside. Lucky for us, he doesn't do any thinking of his own.
This near side of the pitch, two for company, but so many scurry back.
But moments later, Boro show us precisely how they do like to play. Luke O'Neill slips here and Tommy Conway gets a free header.
Doesn't lead to more trouble from Tommy Conway.
The stats, and they're pretty damning, of big chances that Middlesbrough create and miss. Just add this one to an ever-increasing list. He has to score. He's under no pressure. It's a free header. He's picked out beautifully. He's got all the time in the world to pick.
He really should score there. Another big chance missed for Boro then. Sunderland today set up in their usual fashion, here to deny the ability of Boro to play through the middle in that initial phase, in the middle third. Here you can see Hackney is looking to try their usual plan, with the ball to either Conway or Azaz, and that will then be quickly moved out wide to either Jones or Borgia, who will race into space and make a cross. Sunderland today, though, focused on cutting this off at source. See here how Mundle, Jobe and Neil are all ready to pounce on whoever that pass goes to in the middle. The wide men of Jones and Borgia are ignored completely in this setup, and the defensive line is close enough to step in with the midfield and help seize the pass if it isn't controlled perfectly. The space for Boro to play in is extremely tight here, and on this occasion Dan Neil simply cuts out the pass. The ball falls to Mayenda, who does well to get into a shooting position.
A chance for Mayenda, who's got Roberts to his right. He goes the other way.
But a final heavy touch means he fails to even get a shot off. And it was a hackney ball that did make it through the middle moments later that brought a crunching tackle from Trey-Hume.
Worked this nicely again. It's a crunching challenge. Borges picks up. The referee was just ready to see it.
Refereeing, because he saw that there
He earns a yellow for this.
was nowhere near the ball, goes right over the ball. It's a terrible challenge.
I mean, if his studs are up and over that ball making contact, then he is off. As it is, the yellow is probably right. It isn't really a dangerous one, and Lat goes on to play the rest of the game. Perhaps Hume is lucky here, though.
Lat on the end of it. Trey-Hume booked, and Middlesbrough with this free kick.
Sunderland like to attack up the flanks with the wingers supported by one of the advanced midfielders and the fullback.
Again, he's been a bundle of trouble for the opposition since replacing Jack Clark, who headed out of here for Ipswich.
Here, Jobe retains the ball superbly, and it isn't Dan Neil that splits four players with a killer ball into the box for Jobe's run. That's Luke O'Nien.
He was the one that laid it off and almost gets in. It's good defending from George Edmondson.
What Boro didn't seem to understand today about Sunderland's press is that it is not a constant one, but it is only employed at two moments. One of them is in a furious Gegenpress. A Gegenpress is an effort to win the ball back from lost possession in the first 6 seconds of losing it in the final third. Here, you can see precisely this. There's no urgency to retreat here. Quite the opposite.
It's a good work from Sirkin. Ayling doing the defending. There's Luke Ayling again as Middlesbrough try and play themselves out of a tight spot.
The result is we win it back and pressure is maintained.
He's in the way to win it back. Here he is. Mundle again.
Again, a minute later, the ball is lost in the final third and the response is initial fury. Boro are given no time to get into shape or transition into attack.
Conway runs into Mundle.
Look at the difference here when the ball is lost in the middle third. Sunderland's shape is focused on controlling and denying the centre, not winning the ball.
As you can see there, both of them.
Mundle is actually out of position here and the pass goes to Conway, who really should turn out into space that Mundle has left, but he's mince, so Jobe is on hand to take it off him.
There's Mundle. Caught by Hackney. Had to accept the price on offer from Ipswich, which they did.
And again, here when the ball is lost in the final third, fury is unleashed in that Gegenpress, giving Boro no time at all to play out.
Nine keeps an eye on that. We'll just go back to Jack Clark.
And the chances started to come for Sunderland. Roberts went close.
Score 3 goals in 3 games. He will be at the top of his confidence.
There's Roberts. Patrick Roberts on his stronger left foot, trying to get a shot away. He was just caught as he was about to shoot.
And then Hume puts a delicious ball into the box. And that's Luke Ayling pushing Mayenda in the back.
But couldn't quite get to it. He thought he was pushed.
Yeah. It's been a good fast start here. Just looking at Mayenda asking for a...
That is a penalty. But it doesn't come.
Get penalties for that kind of contact.
But moments later, Karma plays a visit, and a loose touch from Ayling sees the ball fall to Mundle, who spreads it wide to Patrick Roberts, who works an opening and...
Michael Carrick's coaching staff. Patrick Roberts, it's opened up for him. And there's an opportunity here. Oh, how cool is that? How cool is that? From Chris Rigg.
In the scramble, it's the advancing Chris Rigg who makes a remarkable split-second decision to score here.
George Edmondson that takes it away from the goalkeeper. There's no danger really. But that, from the angle, to produce the flick, is incredible. Do you know what? I stand corrected. George Edmondson had to try and stop it. There were Sunderland players behind him. But this here, from the angle, that is an incredible finish. Incredible.
That goal means that Sunderland have scored first in their opening 6 fixtures for the first time in their history. Boro immediately pressed for an equaliser.
Hazard stepped in field. Borges. Neto Borges inviting ball across the face of goal. Latte Lack couldn't quite get to it. Jones.
And they continue to look dangerous on the counter. Here Roberts loses the ball in attack, and it just shows how stretched we are.
Has to retreat. Zaz, nice feet from him. Tommy Conway.
Hoping for this shape from Sunderland is what Boro's game plan amounted to.
It's Isaiah Jones. It loops onto the roof of the net.
Chris Mepham clashed with Trey Hume high up the field, and for a moment it seemed like we might lose another centre-half.
Mepham and Trey Hume, not a pleasant collision.
Art Ballard was injured at Plymouth Argyle.
But this wink shows that he was all right, really. And just as well, because Mepham had an outstanding debut today. He was never caught out positionally and covered in some very difficult situations very, very well.
By Mepham. And it's dropped here to Azaz. It's Finn Azaz. And it's headed over the top.
Romaine Mundle continued to terrorise the Boro right. The lad is tremendously skillful. He makes me feel like we banked Clark's money for free and haven't really missed him. And it was Mundle's skill and running that led to a second pelanty appeal.
Into the penalty area. Oh, has a little nibble, doesn't he, Luke Ayling?
Quite how one of Ayling's shoves hasn't been awarded is quite amazing.
He's right on the scene, says no. And now Middlesbrough looking for something on the counter-attack. 09 gets there ahead of Conway. Confirmation of that yellow card to Patrick Roberts a few moments ago. Here's Jones. Latte Lats after this. It's Latte Lats. And he can't find the finish.
And as half-time arrived, the game was finally poised. Boro had most of the possession and more shots. Surely they couldn't continue to fluff their chances, could they?
Most notably Tommy Conway, who had it.
But Reggie was hard at work just before the whistle. And when Sunderland came out for the second half, Regis had urged Sunderland to balance out that possession by supporting a more controlled play higher up the pitch. More often, Jobe and Rigg were found higher up in the half spaces supporting the wingers. And for the first 20 minutes, we dominated possession, increasing our share to 55% in this period. Jobe was instrumental to this change. He was everywhere, sealing off the ball.
The left back with the left midfield ahead of him moving inside. Middlesbrough like to operate in the same manner.
No one has made more recoveries in the Championship this season than him. 34. That's 6 per game. Today he was excellent.
And moving away from Azaz and stepping away from Clark. Again, the referee.
And when Boro did break, Mepham was there in complete control. Sunderland were the controlling force now. Look here at the way Bris has Sunderland playing. They all know their job, what to look for and how to move as a team. Here the press is too late from Middlesbrough, and so is the one behind it, and it isn't coordinated at the back line. They are fixed in place by Mayenda. Really, one of them should move to press Rigg, but they are afraid and unsure of their jobs. The lads, though, are very well drilled and alive to this situation. The Sunderland players move together into space, and it's just too easy to play past Boro.
Work this nicely. Here's Rigg. Rigg with that ball and comes to nothing in the end.
With an hour gone, Carrick had clearly seen enough and substituted his wingers for fresh legs. But Jobe Bellingham was everywhere. Attacking here.
Mundle, faced by Ayling again. And he's poked it through to Jobe Bellingham. He was tracked all the way.
But for a stumble, he puts that ball into Mayenda. And defensively, look at the ground he makes up on Neto Borges here to superbly dispossess him.
Borges surging forward.
He's got to move the...
Try as they might, there was simply no getting the ball off Jobe today.
Bellingham shrugs off Morris. Referee again. Lets the play continue.
And with the Gegenpress still in use in the final third when losing the ball,
Link up with Bellingham. Ayling. There's Clark.
Neil picked up a loose pass and played in Mayenda.
Go from one side to the other, but now they're in a spot of bother. Neil. Mayenda trying to trick his way through, and he goes down just outside.
His quick feet earned a free kick at the edge of the box.
There's contact there, it is outside. Good decision by the referee.
Mundle gives Dieng the eyes for the far post, roots him to the spot, and it's only the upright that prevents the score from being 2-0.
Absolutely not. This is the free kick. It's a brilliant effort, disguised, whips it. Keeper rooted to the spot, and he's millimetres, isn't he?
Then Regis brought on Isidore for Roberts, hoping to give a Middlesbrough team searching for an equaliser something to worry about behind them. And the final 10 minutes saw Sunderland continue to produce a disciplined, organised display in defence, closing off the ball through the middle from Hackney.
Again, Middlesbrough in this kind of area, can they offer a threat?
With Mepham cleaning up anything thrown in behind. What a player he is, dominating here again. We have no option to buy, but that doesn't matter because he's out of contract with Bournemouth in the summer anyway. At only 26 years of age, he would be an outstanding free signing of the summer if we can get him. Another crucial player for Sunderland today was Dennis Serkin.
Last week, they have been a team that have not conceded many goal-scoring opportunities to the opponents.
He made 3 interceptions and was instrumental in helping to close out the win. He also made 6 defensive tackles with a 100% win rate, more than any other player on the pitch. On top of that, he also made 5 clearances, again more than any other player on the pitch. Clearly, the reason Dennis wears those baggy trousers of his is because he needs so much space for the players he's constantly pocketing in the Championship. And Sunderland's very own super soldier still found time to dazzle with this roulette turn. What a player.
Full of confidence. Dennis Serkin, who was a big miss last season when he was injured.
Ballard came on for Rigg in the 91st minute to shore up the win.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's not quite Hannibal Walker.
09 pumped the ball long for Mayenda, who had stayed out to try and receive it.
Become a hero in the Middlesbrough shirt if they can save this. But right now, it's an heroic defensive 5 wins from 6 for Regis Bris.
And the best start they've ever had at this level.
Yep.
And with the 3 minutes of added time, surely now up.
From Serkin.
Wait, no. The ref gives a throw-in. No matter. There was little chance we were letting this win go.
It has to happen now, if it is to happen. Morris, Clark has stayed forward. Bergzorg, seen off. That's it. This is Sunderland, and this time it will not fall.
A tremendous performance across the park today. 5 wins in our opening 6 games. And if you want to see all the touches from Chris Mepham's superb debut today, then hit the video top right now. And if you've enjoyed this one, then subscribe, share with everyone you know, and think about hitting the super thanks button just underneath the video to the right. And I'll see you next time.
With the most glorious backheeled winning goals.